So here's a wild thought for you. What if the most advanced AI on the planet is, at its core, no smarter than your kitchen toaster? I know, it sounds crazy, but it really gets to the heart of what we're going to explore today. We're charting the incredible, kind of mind-bending journey of artificial intelligence, from just a philosophical idea to a powerful reality that is literally reshaping our world as we speak. So yeah, let's dive in. Now, get this. That quote, it doesn't come from some human philosopher or a tech guru. It comes from an AI itself. And in just one sentence, it perfectly nails the huge debate we're having right now. Are we building something with a real mind, or are we just getting insanely good at creating a convincing illusion of one? It sounds like a joke, right? I mean, comparing a multi-billion-dollar AI to a kitchen appliance? But just stick with me here. This idea, this analogy, it's actually a really powerful way to understand what might be going on under the hood. And we're going to unpack it piece by piece. Okay, so to really get where this is all going, we have to start with where we are right now. Because, we've been hearing about AI for years, decades even, but something just shifted. It's not sci-fi anymore. It's moved from being this niche thing to being woven right into the fabric of our everyday digital lives. All of a sudden, AI wasn't something you had to go looking for on a website. It was just there, baked right into the operating systems most of us use every single day. We're talking Apple Intelligence, Windows Copilot, you name it. The foundation for a massive societal shift has been laid, whether we're paying attention to it or not. So with that in mind, let's rewind a bit. Let's go back to the very beginning of this whole quest, to the first big milestone, which was proposed by the guy who basically invented the field of computer science, Alan Turing. He asked this really simple but super profound question. How would we even know if a machine could think? And his answer was this thing he called the imitation game, which we all now know as the Turing test. The goal was never to prove consciousness or anything like that. It was way simpler. Could a machine just communicate so well, so convincingly, that a person on the other end couldn't tell if they were talking to a machine or another human? That's it. So for decades, passing the Turing test was kind of the symbolic goalpost, the holy grail. But here's where our story takes a really interesting turn. What if passing the test doesn't actually prove real intelligence at all? What if it just proves that a machine is an absolutely brilliant mimic? Check this out. In a recent study from 2023, people were put in front of a screen and had to figure out if they were talking to a human or an AI. Humans were correctly identified as human only about 63% of the time. Okay, modern AI like ChatGPT-4 convinced people it was human about 41% of the time. But here's the kicker. Eliza, a super simple chatbot from way back in 1966, still managed to fool people 27% of the time. That suggests the test might be measuring how gullible we are, not how smart it is. And this leads us to a really famous philosophical argument called the Chinese room. Okay, picture this. You've got a guy in a locked room who doesn't speak a single word of Chinese. He's got a massive book of rules. People slide questions written in Chinese under the door. He uses his rule book to find the right symbols to form a response, and he slides it back out. To anyone outside, it looks like he's having a fluent conversation. But the guy in the room, he has zero understanding of what he's saying. The person in that room is just manipulating symbols based on a set of instructions. And this leads to a really startling conclusion. In principle, today's most powerful AI is doing the exact same thing. It's just following a much, much bigger rulebook. And this is where that whole toaster analogy clicks perfectly into place. Think about it. A toaster follows rules to apply heat to bread, but it has no concept of what toastiness is. It doesn't understand the goal. Well, a large language model, or LLM, follows incredibly complex probabilistic rules to arrange words, but it doesn't understand the meaning behind those words. It's just a system of pure symbol manipulation on a scale we can barely comprehend. Now, even with that big philosophical question mark hanging over everything, you just can't deny the scale of this revolution. It's massive. The jump from those simple, old-school chatbots to the models we have today has been absolutely staggering, and we're already on the brink of the next big evolutionary step for AI. I mean, just to put the sheer impact of this into perspective, ChatGPT hit 100 million monthly active users in just 2 months. 2! That made it the fastest-growing consumer app in history. It wasn't just a new product, it was a signal of a fundamental change in how we interact with technology. We have come so far, so fast. We went from simple chatbots like Eliza that just gave canned responses to these powerful large language models that can generate incredibly complex text. And now we're moving to the next frontier, AI agents. These aren't just responders anymore. These are systems designed to be autonomous, to pursue goals and carry out complex, multi-step tasks all on their own. So this lightning-fast progress brings us to the next great milestone everyone's talking about, artificial general intelligence, or AGI. But here's the thing. Before we can know if we found it, we kind of have to agree on what it even is. And that's the problem. There is no single agreed-upon definition of AGI. Some people think of it as a flexible, adaptable human-like mind. Others, like the folks at OpenAI, have a more practical definition. It's a system that can outperform humans at most economically valuable work. When the goalposts are this fuzzy, it's pretty hard to know if we're ever going to score. But we might already have our first candidate. OpenAI's newer model, codenamed O1, is showing abilities that are, frankly, superhuman in certain areas. We're talking top-tier competitive programming, crushing math Olympiads, and exceeding PhD-level accuracy in hard sciences. So maybe it's not a general intelligence in the way we think of it, but it could be the world's first STEM AGI, a specialized intelligence that has already left us in the dust in science and math. So, as we're standing right here on the edge of these incredible, world-changing breakthroughs, we are faced with a choice. The path forward for humanity seems to be splitting into two very different potential futures, the kind you see in science fiction. Are we heading towards a cyberpunk future? You know the vibe. High-tech, low-life, where technology just amplifies corporate control and makes inequality even worse? Or can we steer this thing towards a solarpunk vision? A future where technology works in harmony with nature to build communities, improve well-being, and create a sustainable world for everyone. And that really gets to the profound duality of AI, doesn't it? It has this almost terrifying potential for both our salvation and our destruction, sometimes in the very same breath. It's a tool with more power than anything we've ever built, and the outcome, really, depends entirely on the values we choose to build into it. Which leaves us with the ultimate question. We are, right now, in the process of building synthetic souls, new, powerful minds that are absolutely going to reshape our world. And the biggest challenge we face isn't a technical one, it's a human one. How do we make sure that what we're creating is a reflection of our highest aspirations and not just a mirror of our flawed data? How do we build an AI that reflects the very best of us?